And good evening and welcome to Happenings at the Center. As you may be aware of the fact, we do it on a monthly basis, co-hosted by Roberta Lynch, who is the director at the Center. There is many things to talk about, and so consequently I find it much easier, and I'm being selfish, true, for myself, to sit back and listen and let the co-host inform you about what is going on. And so without further ado, it's always my pleasure to introduce to you the co-host of Happenings at the Center, Roberta Lynch. Roberta?
Hi, Jack. How are you?
Fine, and you?
I am good. I'm actually very excited because on Friday I opened up my email quickly at the end of the day and got notified that I received a grant from the Massachusetts Council on Aging for a wellness program that we'll be initiating the end of September. And it's interesting. It's a pilot program that was developed by the National Council on Aging, and there are only 22 Council on Agings in Massachusetts that have so far participated in the program, and Medfield will be one of them. And it's a wellness and behavioral change program. And it should be very interesting and very informative and helpful for people to make those changes in their life to have a sense of wellness and a good aging process. I guess that's the best way. I'm actually going for a training next Monday on it to get the information and the manuals, and it's a lot of incentive and rewards. In fact, what I chose for my reward for the top 3 people who have the highest number of points, they'll be getting a gift card for sneakers at one of the, Dick's or Bob's or something. So there's a lot of incentives involved with this program. So it should be something very different for us.
Sounds that way.
Yeah, it's really good to promote. I mean, most of the things that are part of the program we have done through our breakfast talks, talking about fall prevention, talking about healthy eating, talking about, various wellness topics. So we've done it, but this program puts it all together in one package. So it's a 12-week program that people will sign up for, and each week there are incentives, and you're scored by the points you accumulate.
Now this grant, it entails the training, and then from there
training, and then the money's needed to provide speakers and to provide incentives. So the grant is for $3,700, and which would be very helpful in getting people to come in and speak and providing all the necessary components to the program.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. It was just something I decided in July to write the grant for, and keeping my fingers crossed, and it worked out on our behalf.
When will it start?
I'm thinking the end of September. It will be in September's newsletter. So there'll be a first informational meeting. It will be on Monday afternoons. I know that for a fact, but I don't know the exact start date yet.
So we go on?
We can go on. This kind of is a good segue into our educational, our exercise programs. I've always, I've come on here monthly with you, and I've talked about our exercise programs and how wonderful they are, which they are, and how proud I am that we have so many, 11. And but right now, we're finding it a little difficult to meet our instructors' costs. So I really need for people to participate, and if you're a regular member, then bring a friend along, because the more people we have participating, we'll have a better chance of covering our instructors' costs, rather than thinking about raising the cost of the classes, which is something that I don't want to do, but maybe necessary if we want to maintain what we have. So we're sort of in a little dilemma there between the Council on Aging and FOSSI. How are we going to meet the costs of our instructors?
Now these exercises, how many and what does it curtail?
Well, we have the 3 classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, Exercise for Life. We have Core Balance on Mondays and Thursdays in the afternoon. We have Fitness Camp on Tuesday afternoons. We have Tai Chi on Fridays. and Zumba on Thursdays. So we have a lot of classes. They range from $3 to $5 for the class, which is okay, but we need to meet the cost of our instructors. You know, we need to be able to pay for our instructors rather than subsidizing as much as we do.
I see.
Yeah.
And it behooves the senior to take advantage of exercising.
Well, absolutely. We all know the benefits of exercise. I mean, we hear it every day. You talk about it every month when we talk about exercise, how important it is for, you know, physical health and mental health. And it's just something that it's a part of way of life now. I never remember when I was a child growing up, I never remember my parents exercising the way parents exercise now. I mean, you go to a gym, you belong to a gym. Health insurance give you a benefit, reimburse you for a portion of your gym costs. So it's just part of our life now, and I think, you know, people are living longer, and I think part of that's due to the exercise that they're doing in their lives.
Well, I think, and we've talked about it on a monthly basis. I've had conversations with the doctor.
Yeah.
And one has often said, exercise and live longer.
Right.
Sit back and watch a boob tube and wonder why your legs and your back hurts.
Right. You know, we have a walking group on Tuesdays at 2:30, and I think with the cooler weather approaching, I think that's going to be a great opportunity for people to get out and just walk in a group. It's a great way to meet friends and have good conversation and exercise at the same time.
I agree with you, Roberta. It's so important. You know, the older we get, and I know the aches and the pains and the so forth, and you've got to exercise both mind and body, because if you just mildew,
right,
that's the end of it. That's all it wrote.
Right. And I think there's a lot of momentum out there for exercising and avenues for people to exercise, like senior centers who provide classes. So I'm always up for suggestions, and if somebody is interested in starting a new class or asking for a new class, come and speak with me, you know, because if we can do it, we will get it in there. For example, this is not physical exercise, but mental exercise. There was a request some time ago for Spanish classes, and it took us a while to secure a Spanish teacher, but that is starting up on September 17th.
Beautiful.
Starting up, it's an 8-week course of Spanish, $45 for the 8 weeks. Fortunately, we have a Medfield middle and high school Spanish teacher who will be providing instruction to us. And that was a request from someone. They said, we'd like to learn Spanish. So again, if you have an interest or a suggestion, please make it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And border to border, why, you go over the border of the U.S. down into South America. If you estudio español, you can understand what they're talking about.
Understand what they're saying. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So the other thing, come September, we start our monthly breakfast, and the breakfast coming up is on Tuesday, September 16th. And we'll be serving our delicious pancakes that we make monthly. And we have an interesting speaker. We have a Medfield resident, David Stevenson, who will be joining us to talk about smart aging and using senior-friendly technologies to provide that smart aging. So it's going to be a little different. You know, I'm sure people have heard about the Fitbit, and if they have the iPhones or the smartphones, the MyFitnessPal, there are all sorts of new technologies to help people with smart aging. So that will be his topic of discussion.
So that is the senior. When is the
That's
day?
Wednesday, September 16th.
September 16th?
We serve breakfast at 8:30, and breakfast in September, usually it's a $3 donation, but we are celebrating in September National Senior Center Month. So breakfast is on the Council on Aging, so we hope that people will come in, enjoy breakfast, and listen to this very interesting topic.
You know, I have enjoyed breakfast. I kid Mike Sullivan because he cooks, but
Right.
That's reasonable, even though now it's on Council on the Aging. Breakfast, it's something else again. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's a great time, and the monthly breakfast. It's a great way for us to get information out to people by having the monthly speakers, and the topics range from. They're just all over the board. You know, in October we have our triad.
I was going to ask you about
Yes.
triad.
And we have a former Secret Service agent coming to speak about his past job and about fraud and scams and how to protect yourself. So that will be another very interesting topic.
Triad is very, very important, and people that realize that, and there have been groups there when we've done Triad.
Sure.
We do it on Medfield TV also, and that is going to be in October.
It's in October. I think it's the second Tuesday. The exact date is not planted in my brain at this time, but it is scheduled for October.
Well, that's important.
Yeah. And you know, just a little bit about Triad. Also, if anybody has heard about the Yellow Dot program, that is a Triad program. And Joe Canavan will be there. And if you're interested, that's the yellow dot you put on your window of your car, and which indicates that inside the glove compartment there's information about you, the driver, where you live, and the information that will help you know, EMTs figure out who you are, what's wrong with you, what medicines you're on, that sort of thing.
That's very, very important. And I also note, and you have emphasized it more than once, the little card that they can put on their refrigerator when...
Yeah, the file of life, so important.
And I've talked to a couple of people, ambulance drivers, and the file of life is scarce. So they get there, and one in particular, one lady, they had no idea, and they were trying awfully hard. One of the drivers said, taking medication, she was taking a tremendous amount of medication, but we were unaware of it.
Right, well we do, just to the point of file of life, we do require that people who ride our buses or go on some of our long trips, that they have their file of life with them. So we do have a wallet size file of life that they can fill out, or I sometimes say if it's easier, just pull what's off your refrigerator if you're not home, and when you get back, put it back on your refrigerator, as long as you have it with you, because it really helps facilitate care.
Important.
Yeah, yep.
Shall we go on?
We can. We have a really beautiful addition to the backyard at the center. And Jeff Currier from Currier Landscaping Company down on West Mill Street, he put in this absolutely gorgeous garden in our raised flower bed. It was, it actually was filled with weeds, and I guess it caught his eye, and he said that he could do something really nice back there, and it is lovely. So you know, I really appreciate what he did for the building, because when you sit out in that back patio during our cookouts, now it's just so pleasant to sit there and look and enjoy the color. It's lovely. So that's our new addition to the center.
You know one thing, and I've said this a number of times, and those people, that center is beautiful.
Yes.
And people should definitely take advantage of it.
Yeah, it really looks great. When I drove away on Friday, I turn around and I look, and it really is lovely. All the flowers are in bloom, and thanks to Eve Potts, who takes care of our flowers in the front and our bushes. She actually, in the beginning, the late spring, she cut these, I don't know what they are, but the bushes in front of the yellow part of the building, and she cut them down, and they looked like just stumps. There was nothing green on them, and I walked in, I was like, oh my God, what'd we do? And now they are perfectly round, full with green leaves. They're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. She does a wonderful job.
I had a lady at the center tell me how she enjoys it, and she put it in text, which it fits beautifully. It's a home away from home.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's so funny. The other day, Jeannie Donnelly is our core balance instructor, and the core balance group on Mondays and Thursdays, they always sit around the puzzle table and they put a couple pieces of puzzle pieces in place. And so last Thursday, somebody was telling me that Jeannie walked in and said, we're going to end exercise 5 minutes early, and we're all going to go around and finish the puzzle. There was a section that needed to be completed, and there were 6 of them, and they sat around that puzzle table for maybe 15 minutes, and it was so funny to watch them. It was like a marathon puzzle completion, and they got it done. And it was just great to see like the community and the friendship and working
So
together.
important.
It was wonderful.
So important.
Yeah. Yes.
What else you got going here?
All right, so we have a fall foliage trip coming up. And that is on, let me flip to that. That is on, oh my God, I did it again. It's in October. It's a Thursday in October. I think it's the 16th actually, and we're doing the Mohawk Trail Foliage Tour, which should be perfect weather. Usually they say Columbus Day is a perfect time for foliage, or a few days after that. If we don't have a lot of rain, hopefully the leaves will stay on the trees and it'll be beautiful. And that's scheduled, and that's $66 a person. Be a nice day trip with a nice lunch at Chandler's Restaurant and a visit to Atkins Farm for produce, apples, or whatever you might want to purchase.
Question, you take the complete Mohawk Trail?
Well, a good part of it. I don't know the actual specifics, but
Well,
you get up there to see the color.
That Mohawk Trail is something else.
Yeah.
I know. We took we went the full Mohawk Trail
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Lake Winnipesaukee. But if you've never been on that Mohawk Trail, make it a point, because it's something else to see. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. So we have that going. We also have our Lion King on October 9th. We have about 7 tickets left for the Lion King on October 9th. It's a 1 o'clock show. And that the cost of that one's a little high. It's $90 a person, but that is your ticket and transportation. So if you're interested, come on down and sign up for that. We also have been invited, and I don't have a time for this one, but New Pond Village invited us on Wednesday, September 3rd, to listen to Jordan Rich review a book, and the book is The Joy of Strategy, A Business Plan for Life. And I've heard that name Jordan Rich before, and I think might be an attraction for a lot of people to go and listen to him speak and review the book.
I would think so.
Yeah, so that's interesting. New Pond Village wants to, connect with us and invite us to some of their functions, which is nice. They were wonderful and sponsored one of our cookouts this summer, which was great. We had 4 sponsors, 5 sponsors. We still have 2 cookouts left. We have one this week, and we have our last one on Wednesday, August 20th.
Oh, I see.
So 2 more cookouts. But we've had sponsors, New Pond Village, like I mentioned, Memo, right here in Medfield, Care Resolutions, a home care agency in Medfield, the Medfield Fire Department, and Roach Brothers all sponsored a cookout. So we've had a pretty active summer in terms of cookouts.
And number 1 in September, know what's coming up? Medfield Day.
Medfield Day, absolutely. And Fosse and the COA will be there, like we are every year. And I know Chuck Conti, the president of Fosse, has some new ideas that he's floating for Medfield Day to see if we can attract more people to our booth.
Excellent.
Yeah, yep. Oh, this is what I had to mention, and I mentioned to you off camera. Ginny Viles is our hairstylist who comes on Mondays and Fridays to the center, and she is so busy on Mondays and Fridays that she is now opening up on a 3rd day on Wednesdays. So if you're interested in a haircut, a men's cut is $10, a woman's wash and style is $12, a woman's wash, cut, and style is $17. Very reasonable prices.
Bet it is.
Very reasonable prices. Call up and make an appointment. She's great. Everybody loves her. So she does a wonderful job. And if you apply color to your hair. You bring your color in. You have to bring your own towels for everything. Take them home with you. But color is $5 for application. So it's kind of a deal you don't want to miss.
Very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, it's really good. So we have coming up the end of August, we have our June, July, August birthday party. Because of the cookouts during the course of the summer, we have one birthday party to celebrate the summer birthdays. And we have a gentleman coming in, Mr. DJ I call him, but Tad is coming in, and he does like a Jeopardy game show.
Oh.
So we're having our quiz show. We've done it a few times in the past, and it is a lot of fun. It gets very competitive. You know, you got the buzzer and you hit, and you have a period of time to give your answer. It's a great take. So if you are interested in joining our birthday celebration, definitely do so. It's the last Tuesday of the month.
What else have we got going?
The other thing we have going, which is the following day on the 27th of August, we're having a fashion show at the center. And the Canton store, the Chico's store in Canton, will be the provider of the clothing for this fashion show. And the manager, Steve DeQuattro, will be there with Wendy Blake, his sales lead. And they actually will be bringing in, I think he said, about 13 outfits, all accessorized with jewelry, and it should be a very, very lovely afternoon. And if people were to purchase the day of, or I don't really know how many days after the event, 10% of the sale will go to Fosse. So it's going to be a wonderful fashion show with the new arrivals at Chico's, and it's going to be a fundraiser for Fosse.
That's important.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned that grant. I wonder if you might go over that one more time.
You know, I will. It's a wellness and behavioral change program. It was put together by the National Council on Aging. It's the second year that it's being offered. And honestly, until I go to the training, I can't get into the real specifics.
Understandable, no.
But it is a 12-week program, and the idea is you bring in guest speakers. So a lot of the talks, like we do, like I said, at our breakfast, but this will be a concentrated Monday afternoon program. And there's incentives, so to make changes. So that's the part that I need to find out about. But it's going, we're going to have talks on healthy eating. We're going to have talks, of course, on exercise. We're going to have talks on fall prevention. We're going to have talks on how to communicate with your doctor, how to plan for your future. And there's just a number of subjects that we'll be dealing with over the course of 12 weeks. So I can take up to 30 people, and there's no cost, but there's everything to gain. So.
It sounds, if you stop and think for a few moments, what Roberta and the center and what is being offered to you as a senior, words are inadequate to express what is available. Take advantage of these things. The reason for that is up to you. Roberta and I can sit here for a half hour and kind of fill you in on the newsletter. So that newsletter does have information that abounds. But take advantage of many of the things that Roberta has and doing for you. So important. As a senior, you've got transportation, so you're not left out. You want to go on?
I do, and I just want to pick up on where you left off. And oftentimes someone will come in and they'll say, yeah, my mom, she just won't come in here. She thinks she's not old enough. And I just want to say that and I said this once before, that when you come through the building, there is no age. We are all the same. We're all the same. So we don't even look at people's ages. It's not even an issue. So if you think you're too old, you're not. If you think you're too young, you're not. We just ask you to come in and have a good time and gather information or involve yourself in programs and enjoy what's offered.
You know, I said before we came on camera this morning, I'll leave this up to Roberta because she's knowledgeable in everything that goes on. One particular thing I do want to ask is the equipment that you have that you can give out, you know, like.
Sure. Yes, we have a medical equipment shed basically now. It's pretty well filled with walkers and commodes and wheelchairs and shower benches. We have canes, we have grabbers, we have a little bit of everything. And so if someone's in need of a piece of equipment like that, oftentimes when you come out of the hospital, they'll order you a walker or, you know, whatever equipment you need. And then people come to us for what they don't have, if they need the shower bench or they need a cane. So we do have that, and it's a first come, first served basis. You just give us a call, you come on down, pick it up, sign it out, and you're good to go.
So you see there's many, many entities. This is one thing in particular. Take advantage of it, read it. Now, as far as going through what we do in such a short period of time, price the same, $5 from?
$5 for the newsletter, yes. Yeah.
Well, I see the old clock on the wall, and I use this terminology with you. And as you may know, Roberta is the co-host of Happenings at the Center. Very, very important because she is very knowledgeable in what is going on. Is there anything you'd like to add before we say goodnight?
No, really. If you haven't come to the center, or if you've only been there to vote, which, by the way, voting is September 9th, Tuesday, September 9th, so our programs in the hall will be canceled. So if that's when you come to the center to vote, I ask that you come down on another day and see what goes on and grab a newsletter, talk to me or the staff, and just find out what we do, because it's really a great place. And I don't say that just because I work there, I say that because I really believe it.
I readily agree that if you have not seen the center, you should drive out on Old Ice House Road. And as that lady said to me, this is home away from home. Win and look. The library is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And there's so many other things. Roberta, once again, I want to thank you as a co-host, and we do this on a monthly basis. What is in that newsletter we can't cover in a half hour. Get one, read it, and take advantage of it. Roberta, thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
This is Jack Peterson wishing you and yours the very best. Good night.
Hi, I'm Mike Sullivan, and you're watching Medfield.tv.
Access to our community.